Well, first of all, I want to thank my coaches and everybody involved in our football organization for the hard work that we put in to get this class here. Real proud of that, and proud of our guys for how hard they worked. Obviously, we signed more defensive guys this year than offensive guys. We lost a lot last year on defense, and with a major emphasis being on kind of the defensive end, defensive tackle, secondary positions, and offensively, I think we had about 6 or 7 scholarships to give out there and to balance out the offense. Also signed a couple special teams guys, kickers, and that we feel really good about. So I thought overall we hit our needs. Probably came up one short on the defensive line than we wanted to. But other than that, I felt like we hit every need that we were targeting there for this signing class. The big names. I didn't really rank them that way, but I'll just to mention a few off the top of my head. I think that look at in junior college we signed Jimmy Gibson, who's an All-American player, most valuable defensive player in the state of Mississippi. Had 4 sacks in the national championship game. Really good defensive end, great player. Braden Bowman's a tight end that we signed from Arizona. He was All-American, junior college All-American. I think had 70-something catches this past year. Great year. Great receiver. I really liked him. Claude Garrett. Claude Garrett is a receiver that we got out of North Dakota State. Really good receiver, tall, 6'2", 215 pounds. Really good player. So that's just about 3 of the guys that I can mention. But we feel real good about all these guys in this class, and I don't really want to necessarily put one ahead of the other. But I know you asked for a couple there, so. Well, you're in competition at all times, and one thing we don't really worry about is what others do. We try to trust our evaluations. We feel like that we do a good job evaluating people. I think that's why our program is where it is at such an early stage. I think in the past we tried to find some guys that were underneath the radar, so to speak, and so the guys that can play. And so we take pride in how we evaluate guys and go through a lengthy process to do so. So we don't really worry about who we're competing with necessarily. We just try to win those battles and get the very best players we can get. Yeah, one of the biggest things we get is we got us. They say you guys are finally bowl eligible, finally able to play for a championship, and that kind of helps us. I don't know if that's necessarily a question, but the question, where are you going with your program? Where are you going to build a stadium one day? Those kind of things. Those are some kind of questions we get, but. Mainly, we get them here. One thing we feel like we can just get them to Mobile and show them here, show them around this town. Great place to sell, beautiful city, great university, and great football. Yeah, I think that secondary, we feel like we really need some depth back there, and we signed I think 5 guys in the secondary. Defensive front, we're trying to sign 4, end up signing 3. So I think we'll be looking for one more here after this, and kind of for the next 2 or 3 months, trying to find another guy to come in as an inside defensive lineman. So those are probably our 2 major concerns with secondary and defensive line. Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we've got some good players coming in here, and our goal is to get there this year. I mean, we're one play away from getting there last year, one play away from winning the conference championship, which is well documented, but we got to get there. And when you have good players, it kind of tends to put you over the hump a lot of times. And so getting key players in here is very important. Yeah, I think we've got 4 players from the Mobile, Pensacola area in this signing class. It varies from year to year, and again, we're not going to compete with Alabama and Auburn. We know that. We understand that, and that's just part of the deal. Now we've got a lot of transfers from there, which has been good. And gosh, I think we've gotten 4 transfers from Alabama right now that are on our football team, so that have come back, to Mobile. So that's been really good, and so we always keep our eyes and ears open for those type of situations. I think this the receiving core. I think this year we really have some depth there. We've probably got anywhere from 9 to 10 guys that can really play for the first time since I've been here. A lot of guys like Marvin Shin, who transferred from Alabama. He came in last year, had to sit out. Great football player from Viger. Glad to have him. Josh McGee is another kid from Alabama that came in. Really good football player, played pro baseball for about 3 years. Came to Alabama, transferred here. I really got him. So we're excited about him, and all that. Without naming everybody, we got a list of about 9 or 10 that really can play the game. So I think receiver probably be our deepest position. Then offensive line, believe it or not. I mean, we've talked about the offensive line needing depth for the last 5 years. Now we have probably 10 to 12 guys who can play the game. And so finally getting depth like Division I team needs in certain positions. Now some we were trying to fill in, like defensive line, trying to find 1 or 2 more guys. But as far as offensive line and receiver, I think that's our 2 positions that have the most. Well, first of all, we can't have our competitors say South Alabama can't go to the bowl game, South Alabama can't win a championship. And that hurt us in years past. So they can't say that anymore. So now we're competing apples to apples in our recruiting. I think the Tennessee game last year did us a lot of good. There's been several of our recruits that watched the game on national TV, and we played them down to the wire, a chance to beat them. I think that they realized, wow, you know, it's our first year playing Division I, and they really have done well, and they realized that we were 1 game away from a conference championship and all that. So all those things have really helped us in recruiting, no doubt. Yeah, I think so. I don't know what percentage, what number you would place on that, but certainly I think we're a great academic university. We got a medical school. We've got so many great things going academically. We've had great baseball programs, great softball programs, great basketball teams, and now football is being added to that. So you would think it would help in the enrollment, but I couldn't put a number on it. But I think South Alabama offers the full deal now. I mean, it's for the first time Division I football is here, and I think that it's just a complete package, and that's why I believe so much in this university. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. We feel really good about the class. I mean, again, we evaluate guys on our own, and we go out and do a great job, we think, doing that. And we don't, you know, whether you're whatever some of these rivals, some of these people place you, we don't worry about those kind of things. And we feel like we're filling our needs. We feel like we evaluate these guys. They're really good football players. We've got kickers in here. We've got some good D linemen in here. We've got, you know, a couple good offensive linemen. We've got 5 secondary guys. So we filled our needs, and I think that's the most important thing. So to answer your question, we've achieved our goal of what we needed to get. Probably came up a little short on the defensive line, though. You know, our program is getting to the point where it's hard to play as a freshman, you know, finally, and that's a good thing. But, you know, you never know about the numbers of who might play, who might not play. Till we see them live, we think we have some really good players, but till they put the pads on in August, and when they're playing against these guys that have been here 4 and 5 years, we'll find out a lot more about them at that point. But till then, I really won't know.